You know you possess untapped potential, but getting it out and using it feels impossible. It's a feeling that can be far worse than letting down other people.
Expand yourself. Take yourself out your comfort zone.
Your mind is shouting, look at all this wasted potential.
It's painful to understand how much of what you're doing isn't productive.
Do you really want to stay stuck in this loop in 2024 as well? It's a new year, and the hourglass has been flipped. For those of you who like making resolutions, there's no better time to start than right now.
I have failed far more times than I've succeeded.
A recent study by Forbes on New Year's resolutions found that the top 3 resolutions focused on fitness, finances, and mental health. The study also revealed that only 6% of people stuck with their goals past the 1-year mark. We're all well aware that New Year's resolutions rarely last, but why is this so? Why are we unable to do the things we set out to do? Understanding this why is the first step to winning at productivity. Interestingly, the first part of the answer is surprisingly simple. A productive life doesn't happen in a vacuum. Imagine you live in a filthy house. The walls are dirty, the floor is a mess, and there's leftover food in random places. If you set yourself the goal of living in a clean home, but only focus on the floors, you will fail. The rest of the house is still a mess, and the goal of a clean home continues to feel unattainable. You may even think, I tried so hard, but what was the point?
If you want to be successful, you have to change this.
It's the same way with people and productivity. The home is your life, and the floor is the arbitrary productivity goal that you have chosen. This brings us to our first important point. It takes considerable effort to create the kind of change that transforms your productivity and life.
And when that thing tells you to quit, you look at it in his eye and say, I ain't going nowhere. I will break you before you break me. You will not defeat me.
Finding a core reason to be productive should be your first point of focus. The productive actions are secondary. One reason why people fail is that they flip things around. They spend too much time on the secondary steps, which includes downloading habit trackers or buying Pomodoro timers. These people get lost in the process. They think that tools and techniques are what makes winning and productivity easy. Yes, they do create small and short-term results, but the illusion of productivity quickly fades, and you are back to square one.
You've got to realize that as a young man, you grow through discomfort. Men are built through pressure, stress, and challenge.
Finding your core reason for productivity through self-reflection is the first part of the puzzle. Remember, if you don't follow your own plans and dreams, you'll be following someone else's. Here's a question that's worth asking. How are the top 6% of people able to do what they do? Let's face it, most people fall into the 94%. And you know what's sad? It's that they prefer this because it's easy. It's not comfortable to live like the top 6%. Many think that they want to, but when confronted with the lifestyle that it demands, they begin to back out. Their brain tries to persuade them that they don't need to leave the safety of the status quo.
Failure means you're trying. A whole bunch of people out here never fail. Because they never tried.
This is where you need to pay close attention. Your brain isn't always on your side. It doesn't always want what is best for you. In fact, it is often irrational, pleasure-seeking, and risk-aversive. The top 6% of people have found a way to take back control of their minds. They have complete control over it. And we're going to show you how to do this as well in just a moment, so stick with me. When you win the battle for your mind, you can achieve anything in this world. Do you want to run a marathon? You simply train and execute. Do you want to lift weights and hit the gym regularly? You simply do it. There's a goal to achieve, you execute it. Reaching this state is a wonderful, liberating feeling that more people need to experience. To liberate yourself, the first thing you want to do is develop a constant awareness of what your mind is telling you. You want to shine a flashlight at every thought you have about your productivity goals. You tell the positive ones, I permit this thought. And you tell the negative and manipulative ones, I do not permit this thought. It breaks the cycle of you being a docile supplicant for every negative thought your mind has. This technique can also be used to address negative feelings that distract and dissuade you from your goals. Until you become cognizant of your thoughts and feelings, you are like a piece of cloth in the wind. When your mind gives you motivation, you become productive, but when your thoughts turn negative, you become depressed and unproductive. As soon as you become aware and in control of your thoughts and feelings, it's like you found a new layer of consciousness, a layer that hasn't been beaten down into submission by your mind's incessant negative self-talk. This type of thought challenging is similar to the kind that's heavily used in cognitive behavioral therapy. CBT often uses thought challenging as a means to treat depression, anxiety, and other mental conditions. It's extremely effective when done correctly.
I'm a warrior. Period. There's a lot of guys who've been in a lot more combat than me.
Secondly, you need to prioritize clarity both in your mind and in your environment. One of the reasons your brain has an easy time demotivating you is that it uses vagueness to its advantage. From now on, make it a goal to have a clear picture of what you are doing, why you are doing it, and what you will do next. For instance, when you begin your day, avoid going directly into autopilot mode. This is when you unconsciously follow the same routine out of habit. You get up, you grab your phone, you scroll through Instagram, drink your coffee on the side, and gradually make your way to work. Again, living life on autopilot is easy, but it ends up giving you brain fog. Medical News Today just published an article that points out how brain fog makes tasks take longer to complete and also makes you more tired and forgetful. It can be one of the biggest mental obstacles for productivity. While there are also medical reasons for brain fog, it often develops when you haven't been taking care of yourself. So, how do you prevent brain fog? You ensure you get 8 hours of sleep, eat healthy, have enough physical and mental stimulation, and time for rest and recreation. This type of healthy lifestyle fixes more problems than you might expect. Essentially, developing mental clarity and self-care are the two best remedies for brain fog. Instead of living in autopilot mode with brain fog, create a clear picture of how you intend your day to be. As Dan Coe states, if you don't create a routine, you'll be assigned one. You need to chisel and carve out each moment of your life. The world is full of pre-made routines that people fall into. It's your responsibility to take the blindfolds off and make your own path.
It's time to stay focused. It's time to decide clubs, partying, trying to fit in and socialize.
Try to constantly ground yourself and ensure that you're not living in autopilot mode. This can be exhausting for the first few weeks, but once you stick with it, you'll discover it's becoming way easier to stay present and grounded. This step is way more than just setting a routine. You're learning to make conscious choices outside of the mindless routine you've been in until now. This is a fundamental aspect of taking back control of your life. Begin to implement and live with these new perspectives. Remember that the path to winning at productivity isn't obvious or direct. It starts with recognizing that your current way of striving for productivity needs change. It's a windy road that will also have you fight a few monsters that you become accustomed to having around. These monsters include the comfort of your current life and your own self-sabotaging mind. The battle can be scary, but if you use the insights that we talked about today, you can overcome them. Soon, you'll be on your way to not only winning at productivity goals, but also transforming your life in a much bigger and more profound way. Once you take back control of your mind, you'll be amazed at what you can achieve if you set a goal for yourself.